I was on the phone with Amanda when she thought she had hung up. I heard her flirting with someone named Jake. My heart stopped. My hands trembled as I listened to her talking about me, about us, about our 3 years together, the future we had planned, the life we were going to build. I had an engagement ring hidden in my drawer, but in that moment, I knew it was over. I dumped her that very night. Before I tell you this story, let me know where you are watching from, and hit that like button if you think I made the right call. I met Amanda at a coffee shop near my office in Seattle. I work as a software engineer for a tech company, and I would often go to this particular coffee shop to get some work done outside the office environment. Amanda was sitting at the table next to mine working on her laptop. She had this infectious laugh that kept distracting me from my code. Eventually, I gathered enough courage to talk to her. She was smart-witty and worked in PR for an advertising agency. We had an instant connection. I asked for her number, and she gave it to me without hesitation. I texted her that evening, and we set up our first date for the following weekend. Our first date was at a small Italian restaurant. I remember being nervous changing my outfit 3 times before leaving my apartment. But all those nerves disappeared when I saw her waiting for me outside the restaurant. She wore a blue dress that matched her eyes, and her smile, when she saw me, made my heart skip a beat. The conversation flowed effortlessly. We talked about our jobs, our families, our dreams. We shared stories from our childhoods and college years. We discovered that we both loved hiking, cooking, and had the same taste in music. By the end of the night, I knew there was something special about her. The first few months were blissful. We spent weekends exploring hiking trails around Washington State. We cooked elaborate meals together in my small kitchen. We binge-watched shows curled up on my couch. We took a road trip down the Pacific Coast Highway, singing along to our favorite songs. Every moment with her felt right. After 6 months, I introduced her to my parents when they visited from Chicago. They loved her immediately. Mom kept texting me afterward about what a catch Amanda was and how happy she seemed to make me. Dad, who rarely expressed emotions, told me not to screw this one up. A month later, I met her family when we flew to Portland for her sister's birthday. Her parents welcomed me with open arms, and her sister jokingly warned me that I better be good to Amanda. Our relationship grew stronger with each passing month. We had our disagreements, of course, but we always communicated openly and resolved them. I never once doubted her feelings for me or her loyalty. We talked about our future together like it was a certainty. By the time our 2-year anniversary came around, we were discussing moving in together. We started looking at apartments that would be convenient for both our commutes. We debated between getting a 1-bedroom with a home office or a proper 2-bedroom. We talked about adopting a dog once we were settled. As our 3rd anniversary approached, I decided I was ready to propose. I spent weeks researching rings, wanting to find one that would perfectly capture her personality. I finally found it, a vintage-inspired platinum ring with a round center diamond. I hid the ring in my sock drawer, waiting for our anniversary trip to Cannon Beach, where I planned to pop the question at sunset. Everything seemed perfect. Our relationship had matured into something beautiful and steady. We had built a foundation of trust and mutual respect. We supported each other through career challenges and celebrated each other's successes. I thought we were unbreakable. I thought we were forever. Looking back now, I can pinpoint when things started to change. About 2 months before the incident, Amanda's behavior shifted subtly. At first, I brushed it off as stress from work. She mentioned landing a big new client that was demanding a lot of her attention. She started working late more frequently. Our dinner plans would get pushed back or sometimes canceled altogether. Last-minute emergencies at work became a regular occurrence. I tried to be understanding. After all, I had gone through similar busy periods in my own career. But then I noticed other changes. She became protective of her phone. Before, she would leave it lying around carelessly. Now it was always in her hand or pocket. She would step out of the room to take calls. She changed her password, which she had previously shared with me. Nothing obvious, just little things that felt off. She began mentioning a new colleague named Jake in her stories. Jake said this, Jake did that. Jake had the most insightful comment in the meeting. Jake brought everyone coffee this morning. I did not think much of it at first. It seemed natural that she would talk about someone she was working closely with on this new project. The weekend meetups with her team became more frequent. Strategy sessions that could not wait until Monday. Emergency client issues that required immediate attention. I offered to bring her dinner during these late nights a couple of times, but she always declined, saying they were ordering in. Through it all, I tried to be the supportive boyfriend. I did not want to be the guy who got jealous over nothing, or made his girlfriend feel bad about advancing her career. So I swallowed my concerns and focused on being there for her when she was available. My best friend Michael was the first to voice what I had been refusing to acknowledge. We were at a basketball game when he casually asked how things were with Amanda. I gave my standard "everything is great" response, but he saw right through it. "Are you sure about that?" "Because you have mentioned her working late with this Jake guy like 5 times now," he said. I defended her immediately. "It is not like that. She is just busy with work. This client is really important for her career." Michael gave me a look that said he was not buying it. "Look, I know you trust her, and that is great. But just keep your eyes open, okay? These sudden work emergencies and new close colleagues can sometimes be red flags." I brushed him off, telling him he had been watching too many reality shows. But his words lingered in the back of my mind. A week later, Amanda's company had a party to celebrate landing another major client. I went as her +1. Throughout the evening, I noticed her checking her phone and smiling at text messages. When I asked who she was texting so much during the party, she quickly said it was her mom asking about our plans for the upcoming holidays. But later, when she went to the bar to get us drinks, I glimpsed her phone screen lighting up on the table. The name that appeared was not her mom's. It was Jake's. A small knot formed in my stomach, but I pushed the feeling away. I trusted Amanda. There had to be a reasonable explanation. That night, when we returned to my place, I finally brought up my concerns. "You seem distant lately. Is everything okay with us?" She appeared surprised by the question. "Of course everything is okay. Why would you think otherwise?" "You have been working a lot of late nights canceling our plans, and you are always on your phone," I explained. She sighed, looking tired. "It is just work stress, Berkeley. This new client is demanding, and the team is under a lot of pressure. I am sorry if I have been distant. It will get better once this project is wrapped up." I wanted to believe her. I needed to believe her. So I did, even as the knot in my stomach grew tighter. It was a Tuesday morning when everything fell apart. Amanda had called to let me know she would be working late again and would not make it to dinner. We had planned to try a new Thai place that had opened near my apartment. It would be the 3rd dinner plan canceled that week. "I am really sorry," she said. "This presentation has to be perfect for tomorrow's client meeting. Jake and I need to finalize everything tonight." "It is fine," I replied, trying to hide my disappointment. "Good luck with the presentation. Thanks for understanding. You are the best. I love you," she said. "Love you too," I responded. Then came the moment that changed everything. The call should have ended there, but instead of the usual disconnect sound, there was silence followed by movement. She had failed to hang up properly. I was about to end the call on my end when I heard her laugh. It was a specific kind of laugh, one I knew well. It was the laugh she reserved for moments of intimate joy. My finger froze over the end call button. Then I heard a male voice. "I miss you so much. When are you going to tell him?" My heart stopped. My palms began to sweat as I gripped the phone tighter. Amanda's voice came through clearly. "You know it is complicated, Jake. Berkeley is a good guy. I need time to figure this out." Jake responded, his voice closer now. "I know he is a good guy. That is why I feel bad about this. But I cannot help how I feel about you, and I know you feel the same way." "I do," Amanda confirmed, sending a jolt of pain through my chest. These past 3 months have been amazing. 3 months. The timeline aligned perfectly with when I first noticed the changes in her behavior. My free hand curled into a fist as I continued to listen. "Are we still on for this weekend?" Jake asked. Amanda's reply cut me like a knife. "Yes, I told Berkeley I have a work conference in Portland. We will have the whole weekend together." I felt physically ill. The work conference she had told me about just yesterday, the one I had helped her pack for, was a lie. a cover for a weekend away with Jake. "What about that dinner you were supposed to have with him tonight?" Jake asked. "I got out of it," Amanda replied casually. "Told him we had to work late on the presentation." "You are getting good at this," Jake commented with a chuckle. "Do not say it like that," Amanda said, though she did not sound particularly upset. "This situation is hard enough as it is." I know. Jake said, his tone softening. "I just cannot wait until we do not have to sneak around anymore. I want to be with you properly." "Soon," Amanda promised. "I just need to find the right time to end things with Berkeley. He does not deserve to be hurt." The irony of her statement might have made me laugh if I had not been in such shock. I listened for another minute as they continued to talk, exchanging affectionate words and making plans. I heard what sounded like kissing. My stomach lurched. With shaking hands, I grabbed my laptop and started recording the call. I needed evidence. I needed proof that I was not imagining this nightmare. After collecting enough of their conversation, I finally ended the call. I sat motionless at my kitchen table for what felt like hours, but was probably only 30 minutes. My mind was racing, trying to process what I had just heard. The woman I loved, the woman I had planned to propose to, had been cheating on me for months. All the late nights, the canceled plans, the work emergencies suddenly made perfect sense. All the mentions of Jake, the protective behavior with her phone, the distance between us, I had been blind. Or perhaps I had simply refused to see what was right in front of me. Once the initial shock wore off, anger took its place. I called Michael, my voice barely steady enough to speak. "She is cheating on me," I said, as soon as he answered. "With that guy from work, Jake." I heard them talking. She forgot to hang up the phone. Michael was at my apartment within 20 minutes. He found me pacing the living room, alternating between rage and despair. "I need you to calm down and breathe," he said, guiding me to the couch. "Tell me exactly what happened." I recounted the phone call, playing him a portion of the recording. His expression hardened as he listened. "That is pretty definitive evidence," he said when I stopped the recording. "What do you want to do?" The question brought clarity to my chaotic thoughts. "I am ending it. Tonight. I cannot be with someone who would do this." "Are you sure you do not want to sleep on it?" Michael asked. "Not that I disagree with the decision, but you are in shock right now." "I do not need to sleep on it," I replied firmly. "Every moment I stay with her knowing this is a moment, I lose respect for myself." Michael nodded. "Okay, I support whatever you decide." "Do you want me to be here when you talk to her?" I considered it, but shook my head. "No. This is something I need to do alone." After Michael left, I went to my bedroom and opened the drawer where I had hidden the engagement ring. The small velvet box represented all my hopes and plans for a future that would never come to be. I put it in my pocket, a reminder of what was at stake. I sent Amanda a text, asking her to come over when she was done with work. I told her I had something important to discuss. She replied quickly, saying she would be there around 9. The hours until 9 o'clock crawled by agonizingly slowly. I spent them reflecting on our relationship, on all the moments I had cherished, all the promises we had made to each other. I thought about the signs I had missed or ignored. I rehearsed what I would say, how I would remain calm and dignified despite the storm raging inside me. At 8:45, I heard her key in the lock. She was early. I steeled myself knowing that the next few minutes would be among the most difficult of my life. Amanda walked in with a smile that faded as soon as she saw my face. I had never been good at hiding my emotions from her. "What is wrong?" she asked, setting her purse down on the counter. I gestured to the living room. "Let us sit down. We need to talk." Concern crossed her features as she followed me to the couch. "You are scaring me, Berkeley. What is going on?" I sat across from her, maintaining enough distance to stay strong. "I need to ask you something, and I want you to be honest with me. Who is Jake to you?" Her expression flickered subtly before she composed herself. "Jake. He is just a colleague. I have mentioned him before. We are working on the Porter account together." I nodded slowly, giving her the chance to continue to come clean. When she did not, I pressed further. "Is that all he is, just a colleague?" A flash of defensiveness crossed her face. "Yes, that is all." Why are you asking me this? What is this about? I held her gaze steadily. You did not hang up the phone properly this morning, after you told me you had to work late. The color drained from her face. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. I heard everything, Amanda. I continued, my voice remarkably calm, despite the turmoil inside. I heard you and Jake talking. I heard your plans for the weekend. The weekend you told me you would be at a work conference in Portland. She started shaking her head, as if denying it would somehow make it untrue. Berkeley, I can explain. It is not what you think. It is exactly what I think, I replied. But in case there is any doubt, let me play something for you. I pulled out my phone and played a portion of the recording. Her voice filled the room along with Jake's. The evidence was undeniable. When I stopped the recording, Amanda was crying. I am so sorry. I never meant for this to happen. It just did. Things like this do not just happen, Amanda. You made choices. Every lie, every deception was a choice. It was a mistake, she pleaded. A stupid, terrible mistake. Jake does not mean anything to me. It was just a fling. 3 months is not a fling, I countered. And from what I heard, it sounds like it means a lot more than nothing. Her strategy shifted as she realized denial was futile. You have been so busy with work lately. We have been growing apart. I was feeling neglected. The attempt to shift blame onto me only strengthened my resolve. Do not try to make this my fault. If you were unhappy, you could have talked to me. We could have worked on it. Instead, you chose to lie and cheat. Please, she begged, tears streaming down her face. Please, give me another chance. I will end it with Jake. I will do whatever it takes. I cannot lose you. You already have, I said, the words cutting deep but necessary. I cannot be with someone I cannot trust. What about everything we have built? She asked. 3 years, Berkeley. Are you really going to throw that away? I am not the one who threw it away, I replied. You did that when you decided to betray my trust. She became desperate, then switching between tears and anger, promises and threats. She said she would hurt herself if I left her. She claimed Jake had pursued her relentlessly, and she had been weak. She swore she would change, that she would be completely transparent from now on. Through it all, I remained firm. I took the engagement ring from my pocket and placed it on the coffee table between us. I was going to propose to you at Cannon Beach next month, I said quietly. I thought we would spend our lives together. The sight of the ring broke something in her. Her sobs became uncontrollable. Berkeley, please. I love you, not him. It was a mistake. People make mistakes. Some mistakes cannot be undone, I replied. I need you to leave now. I will pack up your things that are here and drop them off at your apartment tomorrow. You cannot do this, she said, anger flaring through her tears. You cannot just end things like this. I can, and I am, I stated firmly. I deserve better than this. I deserve someone who respects me enough to be honest. I stood and walked to the door, opening it in a clear invitation for her to leave. She stayed on the couch for a moment, seemingly unable to accept that this was really happening. You will regret this, she said, finally grabbing her purse. You will not find anyone who loves you like I do. I hope I find someone who loves me better, I replied. Someone who understands that love requires honesty and respect. She paused at the doorway, making one last plea. Can we at least talk tomorrow when we have both calmed down? There is nothing left to talk about, I said. Please give me my key back. With shaking hands, she removed my key from her keychain and placed it in my palm. Our fingers brushed, and for a brief moment, I felt the weight of everything we were losing. Then I closed my hand around the key, closing that chapter of my life. As I shut the door behind her, I felt a curious mixture of pain and relief. The relationship I had cherished was over, but so was the lies. In that moment of clarity, I knew I had made the right decision, however painful. The days that followed were some of the darkest I had ever experienced. I took a week off work, unable to focus on coding when my personal life had imploded. I alternated between numbness and intense pain. Sleep was elusive, and when it came, it was filled with dreams of Amanda. She did not make the separation easy. My phone was flooded with texts and calls. Some were apologetic, others accusatory. She showed up at my apartment, unannounced, several times. I remained firm in my decision, responding only once to ask her to respect my boundaries and stop contacting me. When that did not work, I blocked her number. She resorted to emails which I filtered into a folder I never opened. She sent flowers to my office with apology notes. I donated them to a nearby hospital. The most difficult moment came when she appeared at my workplace, causing a scene in the lobby. My manager, who knew about the breakup, intervened and had security escort her out. It was humiliating, but it also reinforced that I had made the right decision. This was not the behavior of someone who truly respected me. Through mutual friends, I learned more about Amanda and Jake's relationship. Apparently, they had met at a company retreat 3 months earlier, just as I had calculated from the phone call. Their affair had begun almost immediately. Some of our friends had suspected something, but had not wanted to get involved. Others were just as shocked as I was. In my darkest moments, I questioned whether I had done something to drive her away. Maybe I had been too focused on work. Maybe I had not been attentive enough. Maybe I had missed signs that she was unhappy. The what-ifs were endless and torturous. Michael and my other close friends formed a support system around me. They checked in regularly, dragged me out of my apartment for meals, and listened without judgment when I needed to vent. My sister flew in from Denver for a weekend, bringing comfort food and distractions in the form of movies and board games we had played as kids. Slowly, I began to rebuild my routine. I returned to work, finding solace in the logical problems of coding that had clear solutions, unlike the messiness of human relationships. I joined a gym, channeling my anger and hurt into physical exertion. I started seeing a therapist who helped me process my emotions in healthier ways. The therapist helped me understand that Amanda's betrayal was not a reflection of my worth. It was her choice, her flaw, her failure. I had been a good partner. I had been loyal, supportive, and loving. I deserved those same qualities in return. 4 months after the breakup, I took a solo trip to Colorado. I had always wanted to hike in the Rocky Mountains, and Amanda had never been interested in that kind of vacation. Standing on a mountain peak, surrounded by breathtaking views, I had a moment of clarity. I realized I had been defining myself by my relationship with Amanda for too long. I was more than someone's boyfriend or someone's ex. I was my own person with my own dreams and passions. I rediscovered old hobbies that had fallen by the wayside during my relationship. I started playing guitar again, something I had loved in college, but had gradually abandoned. I joined a rock climbing gym, challenging myself physically and mentally. I reconnected with friends I had lost touch with. Most importantly, I learned to recognize my own worth. I established clearer boundaries in all my relationships. I became more attuned to red flags and more willing to address issues directly rather than sweeping them under the rug. The healing was not linear. There were still days when something would trigger a memory of Amanda and the pain would feel fresh again, but those days became fewer and farther between. The sharp ache dulled to an occasional twinge. 8 months after that fateful phone call, I ran into Amanda at a restaurant. I was having dinner with friends when she walked in with a group of her coworkers. Jake was not among them. Our eyes met across the room, and after a moment of hesitation, she approached my table. "Can we talk for a minute?" she asked, her voice uncertain. I excused myself from my friends and followed her to a quiet corner. "You look good," she said, and I could tell she meant it. "Thanks." "You too," I replied, surprised to find I meant it as well. "I just wanted to say that I am truly sorry for how I treated you," she said. "I have done a lot of thinking since then, and I realize how badly I hurt you. For what it is worth, Jake and I broke up 3 months ago. He cheated on me with someone else from the office. There was a time when that information might have given me satisfaction, a sense of karmic justice. But I felt nothing but a mild sympathy. I am sorry to hear that I said sincerely. Are you seeing anyone?" she asked, a hint of hope in her voice. I nodded. "I am. Her name is Sophia. We have been dating for a couple of months now." The hope in her eyes dimmed, but she forced a smile. "I am happy for you. You deserve someone great." "Thank you," I said, then added, I hope you find what you are looking for, Amanda. As I walked back to my table, I realized I truly meant those words. The anger and bitterness that had consumed me for so long had finally dissipated. In their place was a sense of peace and closure. My relationship with Sophia was different from what I had with Amanda. It was built on a foundation of honesty and open communication. She knew my story, knew my wounds, and was patient with my occasional trust issues. She valued integrity above all else, which was exactly what I needed. The greatest lesson I learned from my experience with Amanda was the importance of self-respect. By walking away from a relationship that was harming me, I had declared my own worth. I had shown myself that I would not accept being treated as an option or an afterthought. I also learned that trusting someone is always a risk, but it is a risk worth taking with the right person. Sophia had earned my trust through consistent honesty and respect, not by demanding it or assuming it. Life has a strange way of guiding us where we need to go, even when the path seems unbearably painful at the time. That accidental phone call, as devastating as it was in the moment, led me to a better understanding of myself and what I truly deserved in a relationship. Sometimes the most painful endings bring the most beautiful beginnings. I do not regret loving Amanda despite how things ended, but I am proud of myself for having the courage to walk away. The person who benefits most from standing up for yourself is always you. I hope my story resonates with anyone going through a similar situation. If someone shows you who they are through their actions, believe them. You deserve honesty, loyalty, and respect. Never settle for less. What has been your experience with betrayal, and how did you handle it? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story helped you in any way, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need to hear it. Thank you for listening, and remember, sometimes letting go is the strongest thing you can do.